Good morning, guys, and welcome to episode 13 of the Digital Commando Show. It is Motivational Monday, so once again, we're going to have some fantastic guests on today, and we're going to be talking about morning routines that set you up with a positive mindset. We're then going to talk about what drives our ambitions and keeps us motivated once we're out of bed, and then we're going to talk about daily habits for success. And then finally, we're going to finish off with some top tips for productivity when you're working from home. So, my guests for you today, I'm going to bring them in just 1 second. I have for you Vitanna and Rebecca. So in they come. Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Good.
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic. You can hear me okay? Vitanna, you're joining us all the way from Sydney, Australia. That's right?
Is that correct?
I hope that's correct. Yeah. No, that's absolutely wicked. Thank you very much for joining us today. Rebecca, whereabouts are you in the country?
I am Worcestershire in the Midlands.
Fantastic. Lovely. And we've got beautiful weather today as well, haven't we? 11 a.m. It's nice and sunny. Well, it is in Leamington, so I hope we've got...
Oh, okay. You're just down the road then. So
yeah, not too far, yeah. Guys, thank you very much for joining me. For those that don't know who you are, can you do a quick kind of 30-second, 1-minute introduction to yourselves? Is that okay?
Yep.
So, Vitanna, we're going to go over to you first. Here you go.
Fantastic. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, for you, because it's live over here. So my name is Vitanna. I am a transition coach with Bob Proctor. So I help young professionals and entrepreneurs making quantum leaps in their career and their business. How? By eliminating and working on all the mental blocks and limiting beliefs that we all have somehow and drop us, here and there. So we're just going to work on that throughout. And that's what I do.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Vitanna. And over to you, Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm a rapid transformational therapist and coach. So I work primarily with entrepreneurs and professional women to heal all of the trauma and past pain that many of us have experienced in order to squash all of those limiting beliefs and all the rubbish stories that we tell ourselves, so that you can go on and achieve next level of success with real flow, ease and abundance as well.
Absolutely superb. Thank you, Rebecca. Right, for everybody watching, we've already got people commenting, saying they're really looking forward to this show. I'm really looking forward to this show as well. So, guys, just remember, if you are watching online, we've got fantastic guests giving up their time, and we only ask for one thing in return, and that is, if you know someone that you feel could benefit from watching this show, then please do tag them in the comments or share the show with them on the replay. That would be absolutely amazing. Guys, let's get stuck straight into it. Morning routines to set up positive mindset. Now, I know I've spoken on the show before about my kind of routines that I get into in the morning to try and get myself motivated and ready for the day. And I use a lot of fitness. Sometimes I use a bit of Tai Chi in the morning, watch motivational videos. I do my mantras, I do my gratitudes. So by that time I've done this, it's like midday. So I kind of fill my morning out. It's great. If only. Vitanna, what's your kind of advice for anybody that needs to get that kind of get up and go in the morning?
Yeah, sure. So first thing in the morning, I write my goals because it's what I'm focusing on, and then it's going to set me for the day. So I usually do that with my not dominant hand. We can go into that a bit deeper later if you want to. It's one of the techniques to really reprogram your mind, do things that are a bit not habitual for you. So let's say it this way. So I do that every morning. Then I write 10 things I'm grateful for. Why? Because the mind is very easy to find the negative, especially around this time. Probably lots of people kind of like stressing out and so on. So it makes sure that you're always grateful for what you have, because it's always positive. You just got to tap into that. And then I send love to 3 people that are bothering me right now, even if they're not close to me or like even distances. Anything that happened in the past, I send love to these people, because if you still have something going on with this kind of people, really going to put in a bad vibration and a negative mood, and that's going to affect your day. Mm-hmm. And then I sit quietly for 5 minutes. It's kind of a meditation. Let's say that, not really, but I do more things during the day that we can discuss later. And I ask for guidance. pretty much, I know exactly what I want, and then I say, show me the way. So I ask the universe for guidance and help me through it.
I really like that one. Actually, we've not heard that one before. Like lots of people are really in the mindset of doing their gratitudes in the morning now, and I love that as well. But there's not so many people that do the meditation. And actually, the meditation you just said there, you do it in complete silence. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really,
and another thing, I never watch the phone until I have breakfast. So I do all of these things, and I haven't watched any social medias, nothing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've tried to stop watching the news at the minute because it's just dark, isn't it, all the time. Rebecca, over to you. How do you get yourself into a mindset or like that motivational mindset and ready to get up and go in the morning?
Yeah, so I think exactly as just been said, meditation is absolutely key. The worst thing we can do in the mornings is to pick up our phone and start scrolling social media. We're so spiritually open first thing in the morning, so we're just energetically wide open. So if we start to pick up on everybody's negativity, it just absorbs straight into us, and it will affect our whole day. So if we can just take that time in the morning. So what I do is I set my alarm for sort of 15 minutes before I'm planning to actually get up. And then I will just literally sit up in bed. I'm got 2 young children. I'm a single mom, so life's busy, and everything for me needs to be super, super simple. So for me, I literally sit up in bed and meditate exactly in silence before I even get out of bed. And that just gives you a really calm, in control, sort of peaceful way of being. It creates some space at the start of your day for yourself. So then once I've done that, often I will again just read through my goals. Movement as well is really important, I think, in the morning to get you all fired up. So I then sit up and I will do the breath of fire, which is a yoga breath. It's a really powerful, energizing breath. You breathe into sort of the abdomen in a very sort of forceful way, and it just fires up your solar plexus, your third chakra, and it just gives you that sort of fire for the day. So when I've done that, and then I will just even do like 5 minutes of yoga, or even just some squats or something, just to get the body moving. And then that's kind of me done, and it takes 5 to 10 minutes. I think something that I would like to mention as well, I think a lot of people struggle with morning routines. And actually, I get that, particularly if you've got young children that get up super early, or that you just, it's just crazy in the mornings. Maybe not so much right now in the situation we're in, but if you're rushing out to work and all the rest of it. So actually, don't be disheartened if you can't have the time for a long morning routine. It can be really short, but also an amazing evening routine will set your next day up really well. So do the things that you would have done in the morning in the evening before you go to bed. It's a lovely way to close the day down and start the next day in the right frame of mind.
That's a really, really good point there, Rebecca. They're all very good points. I love that. I'm going to Google that straight after this. Actually, I'm going to Google that breath of fire. That sounds like, I want to be like a dragon in the morning, breathing fire. That sounds absolutely wicked. And the yoga is really good. I used to do Kundalini yoga. I'm probably not so good at it anymore. But no, I think, a bit of movement. I normally do a bit of Tai Chi or something in the morning now, just for a bit of flow. And then evening routine, that's so key. I think it reduces so much anxiety for people. I think if you've got yourself set up for the next day, you can kind of go to sleep. You're not worrying about, I've got to really get up and get that thing done in the morning. Like I get all these shows set up, most of them the night before. The only thing I have to do in the morning is send you guys the link, pretty much. So yeah, that's kind of I know I've got that done, and I kind of write I know some people don't agree with to-do lists, but I write my to-do list. So I kind of go right up for the day. We did have a question coming, but I think it's going to be slightly more prevalent a little bit later on in the show. So for Sarah Gibson, we'll come back to your question if that's okay. I'm going to go on to the next point, which is what drives our ambitions and keeps us motivated. So we've kind of talked about how we get up in the morning and get ourselves like driven for the day, and we've kind of got stuck into it. Now, sometimes, and this is probably where I'll come on to Sarah's question here, is when you're kind of not feeling it, or you're having one of those, what some people call a bad day. How do we get through that, and what drives our ambitions and motivates us in the long term? Vitanna, we'll go over to you. That's all right.
Yeah, of course. So first of all, I would love to tell everyone that we have an amazing tool, and that's our mind. So we have higher faculties. We can think, we can make decisions. So first thing, if you have some moments that you're not feeling 100% great, or you not feel fully charged, or something that you just say, oh, today is not my day, make a decision instantly and change that, because you have this power with you. So make sure that you utilize that fully and in your advantage. So make a decision that you are going to focus and be really driven by your goal. So if you feel that you fell off the track maybe, or if you're losing a little bit, just go back to the why. So why you started doing something, how is your business or anything that you're doing is impacting the people around you, if you have kids, if you have family, if you have colleagues, of course, employees, and so on. So I always think of the benefit of why you're doing something. So the values is very important, and yeah, the why. Always go back to the why. And we are goal-seeking people. If you think a baby, when a baby is born, wants to, start walking, and then wants to stand up, and then wants to run, and then wants to jump, and then wants to go on a bicycle, and then wants to go on a bicycle without hands. We always want to do more. So the people that maybe are stopping, that's why I help young entrepreneurs do that little click, because sometimes we get stuck in our daily routine and we don't really push ourselves, but not because we don't want to, because we have naturally this want to do more, to be more, and to improve ourselves. Sometimes we just have these mental blocks, limiting beliefs. We are scared. We are afraid that we won't be able to achieve it. We are afraid of, scared of what the people are going to think if I don't achieve that. So fear is a very bad enemy, if you want to say that, but they're all here. So that's why, for me, the mind is an incredible tool, and I wish everyone knows exactly the biggest potential that any of you have, and just tune into that. Make a decision that you're going to focus on that. And the questions that I suggest to not just my clients, but even when I do these interviews, I always give, especially around this time, because people say, well, but I still can't do anything because I'm stuck. There's always something. So write down these 2 questions if you want to. I'll leave it to you, and then you make a decision. And one is, what am I learning today, or what I am going to learn today? Because you can learn something new every day. Even if you start reading a book, it's enough to read half an hour a day, and you are learning something new. I can guarantee you that. Books are an amazing source of information, or something that you watched, or something that you practice. YouTube is full of even free stuff if you don't want to. But we have so much information these days. And the other question is, how am I spending my time? So consider that. So if you find yourself that you're not focusing enough, or you not have these, this ambition that you are driven by, make sure that, how am I spending my time? Am I staying on the couch all day watching Netflix? It's okay, just watch maybe an hour, and then, utilize the time a little bit different, but make sure that you always, push yourself to be more, and don't be afraid, because the mind is always focused on the present, never on in the future. So do the most that you can with what you have right now. That's my biggest tip.
Awesome. Thank you, Vitanna. Those questions are absolutely great. So what have I learned, or what am I learning today, and how am I spending my time? They're both really, really spot on questions. And I think this is one of the reasons that I love doing this show, is that we've kind of done about, I think, equivalent to about 13 shows now. So maybe almost 3 weeks of shows. And the one thing I love about speaking to people, especially on like the Motivational Monday, is we start to see trends. And this was the whole reason I did this. So my goal at the minute is to interview 120 people across around about a month, maybe slightly longer it's going to be. So what we're naturally going to see is these trends. And this why keeps coming back. And it always says, right, really, really try and stick to your why to keep you going in the long term. And I think this is what's great for people to watch the show, when you see these things where we've got people that are doing very, very well. You literally teach this stuff, and we can find out actually the stuff that works will keep reoccurring within the shows. So so it's great. It's great to hear about the why again. And I think fear, you mentioned fear, and I think this is something that I used to get told to share my goals with people openly. And I know it comes back to like accountability and things like that. And I think that's a really good idea as well. But it does install lots of fear. And I have gone on to things like social media and openly said, in 12 months' time, I'm going to be here. And I think one of them was like in 2013 or something. I think I said, in 12 months, I'm going to buy an Audi R8. And about 12 months later, I genuinely had people coming to me going, so did you buy your Audi R8? And I was like, do you know what? I got to the point where I could afford it and then didn't want it anymore. So it's like I got something else because it wasn't as important to me then as it was at the beginning. But it's good to have those kind of goals and to share them, which I think was quite nice. Rebecca, over to you. So we're talking about, what keeps us motivated and driven, but more in the long term.
Yeah, so everything that Vitanna said, absolutely, completely agree with all of it. I think the why, though, is something that we need to be really careful with. And by that, I mean, we are obviously product of society, of our parents, of everything that we grow up sort of listening to and all the expectations that are placed on us. So actually, we may think that we want a certain goal and we can go, sort of hell for leather to achieve it, get there, and then realize actually it's not the one for us, and we end up feeling sort of unfulfilled and very disappointed. So for me, a really key thing, and again, this comes back to meditation, is that really tapping into you have all the answers, you know what you desire, you know what you want for you, for your soul, for your spirit, and to be able to sit quietly and connect to that is so important. I think there's many of us that have gone after goals, and like you said with the R8, you get to the point where you can have it and you think actually this isn't what I want anymore. So I think it is really important to have that deep connection to your purpose. So hopefully that sort of makes sense. But yeah, everything else, I think that we kind of said, it's absolutely correct, and it's just really making sure that what you are striving for is really what you want and not what your parents or society wants. As a lawyer myself previously, I saw that a lot, particularly with there was an expectation on people to go to university, become a lawyer, and actually they're very, very unhappy in a job that they don't necessarily want to be in, but it's an expectation that's been placed on them by parents, society. So they've got this, what is viewed as, a successful career life, but actually not happy inside. And that's really important, that you connect to what is going to fulfill you. And when you do that, you're kind of in the flow, and everything just happens much easier. And you can, on those bad days or those days where you're sort of struggling, you can just take a moment and absolutely choose to just reconnect to the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And when it really is a deep-seated desire, you're just fired up again instantly. So that is just such a critical starting point for me and the clients that I work with, is to connect to actually really what you want.
That's absolutely spot on. Rebecca, we see this so much, especially in law firms. I think it's more pivotal there than anywhere else I see it. I suppose from the level of how kind of dramatic that change is, because that's such a, I suppose there may be people in kind of doctors and stuff that may feel quite similar, I guess, because you go through so much education to get to that point. And then actually when you finish the education, you're still very much at the beginning of the career, and then you've got to go through a lot to get into where you want to be. And it's can I say this on the, it's very like a cutthroat industry, I guess, in that sense. I've worked in finance and things like that, which are fairly similar, but our entry level is zero education, so we don't have to go through that. But I think, it's so prevalent, understanding those goals. And it was interesting you said fulfilled. Now, people ask me what my biggest fear is, and I always say unfulfilled potential, because it's the genuine thing that I feel like at the end of a day, if I look back at the end of a day and feel like I haven't achieved anything, it makes me feel really, really quite ill, like quite sick. It's like, I've just wasted a day when you can't get that back. but yeah, so I resonate with the fulfillment side and purpose as well. So I think you're absolutely 100% right. When people are looking at their goals, to really think about what they want to achieve, and which fills their purpose. Really like that purpose word. I love that word. We have had a question come in. I think we've kind of covered it, but let's just check. So we had a question come in earlier on from Sarah Gibson. If I'm having a bad day, should I step away from the task and come back to it, or should I just push through and get it done? Vitanna, what are your thoughts first?
Yeah, I'm just reading it. I'm having a bad day. Well, it's a bit vague. I mean, so if you are a little bit busy and you feel stressed or there's something that's not going well, just relax and connect to yourself. Of course, because you're probably not going to get any good if you're working under pressure, let's say that. And just relax, maybe listen to some nice music. I would suggest you that. Maybe sit quietly on your couch or on your nice comfortable spot for you. And in case you can't go back today to that task, just be grateful and just don't hold anything to yourself, because I truly believe everything happens for a reason at the right time it's supposed to happen. So just follow the flow. I used to teach swimming when I was in Italy, because I moved to Australia 8 years ago. And so I always make this example. If there are waves and you keep rushing through, it's going to sink down actually. So relax and actually follow the waves, and it will make you easier and calmer, and your mind will be able to think more clear. So I would do that. And yeah, so it depends, what kind of task, I don't know. I mean, how important, how urgent it can be. But yeah, I would suggest to start with this.
I think that's a great answer. Hopefully, Sarah, that's giving you some insights there. Rebecca, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Step away from the task. It doesn't have to be, even if it's really urgent, it doesn't have to be a long break, but just to change your state. So put on some music, have a dance, go for a quick run, do some press ups or whatever, just completely change your mental state, have 5 minutes break, and then come back to it. And you'll probably feel quite differently about it, particularly if you've done some sort of physical movement. And I think that is really important when you're starting to feel stressed and the tension's building up, just to dissipate that and then go back to it with a fresh energy, really.
Absolutely. I would totally agree with both of you. I think to kind of step away from the task, I know that I suppose my mentality is, if I'm having what I class as bad day, I don't think you can have, I don't class anything as a bad day. I think I have a bad moment, and I kind of feel in that moment, what can I do to get me out of that headspace? And a lot of time, for lots of people, that can be very different. Now, because we're kind of in lockdown, we might be slightly more restricted to what we could maybe do before. But I would say, even if it's something as small as going to make a cup of tea, just to take yourself out of that situation, do something different. If you're like me and you've got your gratitudes when you open the cupboard to make tea, maybe do your gratitudes again. But yeah, I would say just get yourself out of that space, do something. I think the physical activity you said, Rebecca, is incredible if people can do that. I think that gets those endorphins going, and an instant instant release of endorphins, so you're kind of feeling better straight away. So if you can do that, guys, then I would recommend doing that. But even if it's just a cup of tea, we do like it. We're partial to a cup of tea over here. You probably know that. You guys are coffee, right? Oh, you missed. Did you hear me? Did I miss you? Can you hear us, Vitanna?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
I was telling a really bad joke about cups of tea in England.
Okay. Maybe that's why I haven't got it. Sorry.
Right, we'll go to our third point of the day. So, daily habits for success. Now, I recently read. I was going to say recently wrote. I'd be so rich. I recently read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which was a fantastic book. So I've taken so much from that. But guys, have you got any habits that you instill in your business or your personal life that really set you up for success, or any that you teach to your clients that you think are quite pivotal in the sense of them moving forward as an individual? We'll go to Rebecca first for this one.
Yeah, so we talked about briefly about the to-do list earlier. I actually don't like a to-do list. I'm a real list maker, and for years I had to-do lists, and every day would, sort of finish it with it half completed because I put way too much on there. So I think for me, two things that are really important is to have an achievement list. So write your things that you want to achieve that day down the left-hand side of the page, and then have another column where you put why, and you ask yourself, why am I doing this? We are so in the habit of being busy for busy sake, that actually we can fill our list up with stuff that isn't actually moving us forward. So if everything that you put on your list, you question, why am I doing this? And if the answer's not good enough, it comes off the list. That's one less thing for you to do. But then when you have done it, if you needed to do it and it's worthy of doing, then you can tick it off, and you can reflect at the end of every day, which is another really important, powerful practice, self-reflection at the end of every day, just to see actually what you've achieved and how it's moved your business, your health, whatever it is that you're striving for, forward towards your goals. I think another thing that is really important, and it's less of a habit, but it's something that has massively helped me, as someone whose brain is kind of 100 miles an hour and always looking for the next, shiny ball and all the rest of it. Something that's helped me, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs are like this, is to, when you have an idea, rather than feeling that you need to act on it now, is to park it. So have a book or something that you write all your ideas in, and then you can just freeze it and know that it's going to sit there and it's going to be fine until you're ready to deal with it. For me, that was life changing when I first started to use this method, because a lot of people feel that you need to do everything right now, and then it can pull you away from the goal that you're working on at that moment. So focus, an achievement list, and self-reflection every day, just to make sure, exactly as you said earlier, that you've done things that are productive and moving you forward for your specific goal. And on that note as well, it's often useful to have goals of either sort of 6 to 12 week periods. And I think any more than that, people lose their focus. So chunking your goal and chunking it down, and even thinking, right, I'm going to spend half an hour on this task now, and doing whatever you can do in that half an hour, and then taking that little break and then coming back to it is really just powerful habits to get into, that move you forward. In terms of the self-reflection every day, you can look back at your achievement list and see what you've achieved that's moving you forward. Sorry, I've just lost my train of thought. I can hear the kids downstairs. You can then look and make slight improvements on what you're doing, and it's these tiny improvements every single day to your systems, your processes, your mindset, that add up over the long term to massive differences. We get frustrated as humans when we don't see improvements within a week or a month. But over 6 months, over 12 months, when you look back and you've logged that, you've reflected on it, the difference is huge.
Rebecca, thanks so much. There's so many knowledge bombs you've dropped there for people that they can kind of action straight away. That to-do list, switching it to an achievement list, I really like that. Why am I doing this? I like that to a point. If you're a business owner, I hate it if you're an employee. Because when we were in the military, for some reason, someone's probably read a book and they've gone, I know what's a good idea. Let's ask all of the military recruits before they do a task that they've been asked to do, for them to think about why they're doing that task. So we end up with a squad of 30 blokes all going, well, why am I doing it? Like children, because they're military and they want to wind you up. So guys, today we're going to go out there and we need to go and do this. All right, ready? Why? No, it's not how it works in the army. Just do it. So that just brought me back to that time. That was quite funny. The ideas, where you said right ideas, like I'm very much that. If anybody's ever done a disc test, I'm like a high I. I love shiny things, which is why I've got everyone who's in my office is just full of weird kit. This microphone isn't even plugged in. I've just seen it. Anybody else notice that? That's quite funny. Whoops. Everybody knows. It happens on every episode. Everyone's like, does that microphone even work? Just look cool. Get it right. Let's get out of the way. I love that. Yeah, the idea. I've got some friends that they've got an IT company upon Avon or Kenilworth. They've got an ideas board. So their event, again, very much high eye. It's two guys that run the business together, and they've got a board on the wall where when they come up with an idea, they put it on the board and they'll come back to it 24 hours later and go, okay, is it still a good idea, or was it something that we just kind of thought of? And they'll leave the certain things on there, and they will try and have SMART goals related to those ideas, how quickly they could accomplish them. And if they've still got something on there 30 days later, they take it off the board because it was a waste of time, because they haven't done anything about it. They haven't actioned it. So I really like the idea of doing that. And we talk about 90-day planning. So we've got a guy called Kevin on Thursday, who's we've done a coach that we've done a lot of work with. And he talks about he always implements 90-day planning, which is really good. And you said about chunking. And I remember, I think I listened to Tony Robbins' tapes years ago when he was talking about chunking. And I really, really resonated with that because like kind of bite-sized pieces is so much better than kind of give me everything and just try and make me do something with it. So I really like that as well. Absolutely awesome. Vitanna, we're going over to you.
Thank you, Rebecca. That was amazing. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. Very great insight. That I love them. Thank you. So, how do I do it? So, I do kind of two parts. So one of them I do twice a day. I practice visualization. So I put soft music and I kind of lay down on the bed or on the couch, wherever I feel comfortable with. And for 15 minutes, I close my eyes and I imagine myself already achieving and be the person that I want to be. So everything is in the present moment. So I'm not saying I will do it, because unconsciously you're telling your mind that you don't have it yet. So you don't resonate with that and it doesn't connect. So I do that twice a day for 15 minutes. And then any ideas that come through this visualization practice, I write down straight away after. So I invite you all to write down anything that came to your mind. Even if an idea is something that you want to do, like a task or something, or an activity, or maybe you want to do a live seminar whenever you can all do, or do Facebook Lives every day. Any ideas that came up to you. So that's intuition. That's an amazing faculties that we have. Make sure that you write it down, because sometimes what happens is that if we have these intuitions, we have these random ideas. Some people say, well, yeah, but I can't do that. I don't know how to do it. I don't have the skills. I'm not good in copywriting. I can't do that. And then we start limiting ourselves. So if you got that intuition, there must be a reason for it. Write it down, because the mind is like a GPS. If you ask for it, it will get you the answer that you want. It might not give it to you in the right time when you ask for it. So just keep doing that. And that's what I suggest my clients to do. So this is one part, which is super important for me. I love imagining. I play with my imagination a lot. Like I keep doing it even throughout the day. And my favorite tune on YouTube, it's called The 3 Hours Nuvole Bianche. It's like a piano music. It's amazing. And another one that I have, just maybe 3 daily activities that I must do that will take me forward to very closer to my goal. So for example, I go in my group Facebook Live every day. Why? Because I want to provide as much value as I can, because I know how important these informations are. So I want to share with the people in my group. So this is one of the things that I must do every day. Just only 3 things that every day has to be kind of a must. So I agree with the to-do list. I don't like them either, because if you have too many on them, then you get frustrated with yourself and you're actually going to go to bed in a negative mood because you said, oh, see, I'm not going to do that. I only went through half of it. That's not the point. So you just have these kind of key daily activities that you are going to do is the minimum. If you can do more, better, but that's the minimum. And another one that I look at myself and then I said, okay, well, what are the actions that I'm actually doing, but they are not productive? So I divided the habits that I have daily, divided in non-productive and productive. And the ones that are non-productive, I said, okay, how can I twist that? How can I shift it to make it productive so I can get closer to my goal in the easiest and more joyful way possible? So these are my 2 ways. So one more like imaginational and the other one more practical.
Vitanna, that's fantastic. I really like that as well, and that's a good thing for people to remember actually when they're doing that. If they're doing their mantras in the morning or whenever they like to do them, whenever it works for them. One is for anybody that doesn't, and again I've mentioned this on the show before. If you don't say them out loud, then I know that can feel very, very strange to people in the beginning, but do it and it will start to feel a bit more normal after about a week. So I would say it's easier now. Like I live on my own, so I can kind of just say it because no one can hear me. I don't look weird, but I get that when like the kids or your partner's like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you speaking to yourself in the shower when you're getting up?" Which is fine, but to reinstate those things that I am rather than today I want to be successful. Because today I am successful, and it's things like that, or I am this and I am that. So just very much in the moment. So that's so key. I'll have to get that link off you for that piece of music you just said, that 3-hour one you've got.
Yeah,
on
of course.
I'll have to get it.
Do you want me to pop it? Yeah, I can give it to you later, probably.
Wicked. And then I'll drop it into the chat for anybody that wants that as well. Right, where did we get to? We're almost there. Right, going on to productivity. So kind of things that keep us, or your kind of key productive tips, top tips for productivity. That's exactly what I was looking for. I was going to get there in the end. So the to-do list is completely out the window. You both told me now. I will not use the to-do list again. I promise. I'm going to do an achievement list instead. So 100%. So what are your top tips for being productive during the day? Especially, it is very weird now because everybody's working from home. So we are out of routine. For those people that work in an office that may be employed, they haven't got that boss over their shoulder watching them every minute. They might not be tracked in the same way that they were before. So what are your top tips for being or having as a day as productive as possible? Let's jump over to Rebecca first.
Yeah, so it's all a bit crazy at the moment, especially if you've got little ones at home. But having a routine is important. And when I say routine, I mean a sort of loose idea of what's going to come next in your day. So it doesn't have to be a schedule, you're not sort of, right, it's 1 minute past 10, we're late for this. It just has to be, okay, we're kind of doing this, doing that. And everybody then, particularly if you're managing little people as well, and also trying to run a business, everybody kind of knows what's coming next and what the flow is and when we're going to get your uptime, your energetic time, downtime. So having some sort of routine gives you freedom. And a lot of people resist that a little bit, but it's true. Having a routine does give you freedom as long as the routine works well for you and what you're trying to do. The second thing for productivity that I would say is to definitely batch your tasks. So if you're doing social media, do your hour of social media or your 20 minutes or whatever you're doing, morning, lunch and evening. If you're doing emails, do those together. You're making phone calls, do those together. If you're writing, sit down and write. Rather than having to constantly be checking email, set yourself schedule where you check your email at 9 o'clock in the morning and then again at 5 or something like that, because otherwise you're almost sort of waiting for emails to come in and then there's a lot of time that's wasted. So it's that batching the tasks and doing them with real focus. The other thing that I wanted to say regarding productivity is know yourself and your own energy levels. Some people are morning people. I'm a morning person. Some people are better in the evenings. So work out which tasks you work best with your natural rhythm. So if you're a morning person and you're doing Facebook Lives in your group, you're probably going to want to do those in the morning, and maybe in the evening when your energy is lower and you're sort of more you've sort of gone more internally, maybe that's the time for the writing and creative stuff in that respect. And then obviously that might flip. If you're an evening person, you come alive at 8 o'clock at night, that's the time that you want to be doing your high energy tasks. And perhaps in the morning doing the more mundane stuff like replying to emails. And those are the things that as a business owner you can do. When you obviously are an employee, it's more challenging, but you generally, depending on your job, may have some flexibility in how you sort of work your day. But I think that's a really important way to be in order to work with yourself and avoid burnout, and to actually work in flow with your natural rhythm. I think those would be my top 3 tips for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. No, they were absolutely great. I really like them. I think the you said about routine, and the routine for people out there, you do not have to have a super strict routine. You're so right. It's not like on the minute, every minute, you know what you're doing. That's absolutely fine. I think to have a level of structure that kind of fits it kind of sounds a bit like a routine, but like a structure to the day. And for people that have got little people at home, kids like structure. They actually do. If you're doing the same thing every day at a certain time, like lunch is that time every day, not just when you finished your emails. Kids like that. I've got kids, so if I'm wrong, someone just tell me, it's fine, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one. And yeah, the multitasking one's always an interesting one for me. Now, I think that for most people, multitasking is quite difficult, trying to do multiple things. And when I say multitasking, I mean like a range of things that you just spoke about. So trying to do social media at the same time as doing the emails, or maybe writing a blog or something, and then you've got the phone calls coming in. 100%. I think it can be so difficult. And for like I've done almost exactly what you said, Rebecca, about the emails. So when anybody emails me during the day, it's just you'll get an autoresponder all day, because between I think the hours of 10 and 4, I don't respond to emails because I'm busy working on client work. So I want my clients to get their best results, so I'm focused during that time, and then I'll check my emails outside that time. It might mean that someone gets an email reply at, I don't know, 11:30 at night or something, but my clients are aware of that. They're happy that I work that way. And I think as long as you're transparent, you can kind of get away with doing stuff like that. So yeah, fantastic insights there, Rebecca. Thank you very much. Vitanna, over to you.
Here I am. So productivity is the opposite of procrastination, pretty much. So why do people procrastinate? Usually because there's so many things to do and you just kind of rush through, and then you go from a task to another, just because you want to get them done. So my biggest suggestion is assigning specific time. So give yourself kind of command. So self-discipline is very important in that. And just, make sure that you say, okay, for example, my study time, I study a lot every day because I just love just improving and keep learning every day. And I read a lot. So I said, okay, this will take me a long time, because when I start reading, I would never stop. I know myself, I would get through all the courses and everything. So I give myself timing, and the command, I said, okay, perfect. So every day you do your morning routine, which will take usually half an hour pretty much. Even depends on the day. And then you do your reading, and then you move on. And when I have to do something specific, so maybe the biggest task that you have throughout the day, I use power blocks. So I block pretty much 2 hours, for example, of my time where I have no phones. I get rid of all the notifications on my computer, everything, any distractions, and I'm just focused. Because if you give a specific time, your mind works better, and I can guarantee you your productivity will increase so much more. You get so much more done. And I use this technique against myself because I love playing with myself as well, of course. Playing with minds, I'm the first victim of that. Not victim, but I love it. And when I see myself and I'm kind of wasting time and I can't get the point, or I'm still looking for something, I said, okay, Vitanna, you have half an hour. You got to do that, half an hour, and you get it. And I always get it done. because you kind of give yourself a command and your mind said, okay, I only have half an hour, so I have to get it through. And then you get the solution, you get the answer that you were looking for. And you're even happy about it because you said, oh my God, I made it. But if you don't give yourself some time, or even if you're on social media, for example, if social media is part of your daily activity, because it's mine as well, I give myself some time. So I said, okay, 2 hours on Facebook, that's it. Because then, you know how it is, you read something and then a friend jump to you and then all of this, and then you keep this cracking, and then you watch time, it's been 3-4 hours. I said, oh my God, I haven't got anything done. So just put an alarm, maybe a clock, so you don't need to watch your phone all the time. And when the time is over, it's over, but I can guarantee your productivity is going to increase a lot. So power block.
Thank you very much, Vitanna. You mentioned procrastination. Now, for those people that procrastinate, now I am very, very bad at this. I know I should really practice what we preach and stuff, but I don't. I'm really bad at everything. Great book for people. Eat That Frog. Very well-known book. It's all about basically doing the hardest thing, the thing that you're going to put off all day, that big task. Do that first, and then you've got loads of energy for the rest of the day. So great book. I'm sure the guests will agree with me on that one. And I like what you said there about kind of giving yourself a time to complete something. And then I'm super, super competitive. So if I kind of challenge myself to do something, I'll probably do it. So I might be like, yeah, Stefan, right, I'll give you a race, and then maybe have like a countdown. I'll probably put a countdown timer on the wall that I race again so I can get it done. I think that's Vitanna, Rebecca, thank you very much for joining me on the show today. We're 1 minute over, but I think we're good. We might have some questions come in afterwards on the replay. So if anything does come in, I'll just tag you in the comments. So guys, if you're watching, feel free to still ask questions on the replay. We will keep an eye on it. But for everybody who's watched today, thank you so, so much. Really, really enjoying this show. It's great to start seeing trends come out now that people can really implement into their personal life and business. And once again, thank you to fantastic guests today. Been an absolute pleasure. We will be back again tonight. It is the show from across the pond, the Digital Commando PM show. So we're back at 8 p.m. with some more fantastic guests. We'll be covering the same subject with, a couple of people from across the pond in the Miami area. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Guys, have an amazing Monday. Stay motivated, and I will catch up with you all soon. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.